Hello class, my name is Thomas Jupery, and for today's video discussion I chose the article Applying the Science of Learning to Medical Education by Richard E. Meyer. The goal of the article is to demonstrate how best to utilize the science of learning with medical education. This coincides well with this week's reading, as the chapter focuses on Meyer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning, which is a learning style incorporated in the article. Of note, the article was also written by Richard Meyer. Multimedia learning is based on three core principles, the first of which is the dual channel principle, which states that we learn by two pathways, auditory and visual. The limited capacity principle states that we can only process a limited amount of information at a time, and that the brain can therefore be easily overwhelmed when too much information is given. The final principle in Meyer's cognitive theory of multimedia learning is the active processing principle, which states that for material to go from sensory memory to working memory, it has to be first changed into mental images by our brains. An important caveat not mentioned by Myers, but suggested by Zurich and colleagues, is that this learning is affected by distractions present either in the media presentation or in the environment. The article goes on to describe some methods for improving media presentations by providing additional principles for improving learning. To best reduce the amount of effort the brain has to use to process memory, it is recommended to use the principle of coherence of the presented material by eliminating any fluff that is not relevant to learning, regardless of how cool it looks. The principle of signaling refers to using an outline, highlighting, or numbering, in other words, providing some organization and direction to the learning. The principle of contiguity refers to keeping words with their corresponding images so learners don't have to jump around to see the connection. To help learn the essential subject matter, it is recommended to use the pre-training principle, in which key concepts are introduced early in the learning and then returned to later for more in-depth teaching. The segmenting principle refers to presenting material in smaller, more manageable segments, and the modality principle refers to speaking words related to the material instead of presenting them all as imagery that has to be read by the learner. Finally, to improve the learner's desire to engage and want to learn, it is recommended to use the multimedia principle, in which words and pictures are used in describing information, the personalization principle, which refers to using more conversational language than a professional lecture language, and the voice principle, which refers to using a human voice and not a machine-generated voice. In closing, the article provided a good overview of the cognitive theory of multimedia learning, the science of instruction, and provided proven techniques to enhance the learning experience. Please provide any comments to the video. Thank you for your attention.